Welcome back, everybody. There's no better way to start holiday mornings than with warm, gooey cinnamon rolls, maybe a cup of coffee to go with it. Oh, selling a dream. That's why we're excited to have Lance Phillips, the owner of Teal House Coffee and Bakery, here to teach us how to make these delicious treats at home. But we've also got an easy way for you to get a hold of them if this seems like too much work, because that's the way I'd go about it. Lance, good morning.
Good morning.
Why don't you tell us, if you would, a little bit about Teal House Bakery? You all started small,
We did.
but you're doing really well.
Yeah. So for about 20 years, we mentored college students, and the best way to gather college students is to give them food. And so cinnamon rolls, a number of our main products were developed with college students and my own kids. I have 5 kids.
Oh my gosh.
So every Christmas or birthday, we'd make cinnamon rolls.
I didn't realize I was talking to a superhero. Look at your beautiful family. Oh my goodness. Have they followed in Dad's footsteps at all? Started making food?
They have.
Or are they
my
just
youngest,
eating?
my oldest and my youngest are definitely chefs.
Ah, here we go. Teal House is going to have a second generation. Okay, So sorry to interrupt you. You started with just your family and then expanded.
Yeah, so we lived in the Mueller neighborhood. We just started selling cinnamon rolls to our neighbors. Just something to get our neighbors in our home. I'm an entrepreneur, to get our kids doing something, and so they all helped, whether they made pies or made cinnamon rolls or opened the door and welcomed people. And so, one of our customers moved out of our neighborhood, and they asked us if there's some way that we could brand ourselves so that their friends could be a part, because it only was for our neighborhood. So we created a name, Teal House. Was our house color was teal. And then it just took off. We went from there to a trailer, which was funny because it was a red trailer called Teal House.
The Teal House Bakery and the Red House trailer.
And there you go. And so right before COVID, we signed a lease on our storefront in South Congress and Old Torf. And so we had to plow through all of that, but it's been great.
That's wonderful. And now you have 2 storefronts.
Yeah, 2 stores.
So not only that South Congress one, but one in Buda, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes it easy to come and visit you. I love it. Okay, what makes your cinnamon rolls special, since I know that that's how you started?
Yeah, using really good ingredients, that's the main thing. It's only real butter, real cream cheese in the icing. And one of the things, a lot of people will bake cinnamon rolls slow, low temperature, long period of time. With commercial ovens, they allow you to essentially bake under pressure. And so we bake our cinnamon rolls fast and hot. And so it creates texture, soft, almost gooey inside, crispy bottom.
I still have, if somebody is a fan of McDonald's from the 90s, you'll know what I'm talking about. McDonald's used to have this kind of deliciously gooey cinnamon roll, and they got rid of it, and I'm mad at them forevermore. Yeah. But I'm glad that I'm finding a local joint to support that has this exact same, it smells amazing. Okay, you brought us the ability to see how these are actually put together. So we're starting with the dough, right?
Yeah. So we have dough, a big trick for a lot of people, if they will make their dough the day before. Put it in the refrigerator. Cold dough is a lot easier to handle than just kind of room temperature dough.
I'm going to lock down this table for you because we're putting some effort into it.
Yeah, so another big thing just for our home bakers, yeast, it was something that was very challenging for me over the years. A lot of times I didn't realize I didn't handle the yeast right. Because
you want it to get some growth going on its own, but you don't want to overactivate it. That can make things deflate. There are all sorts of ways to handle yeast.
That's right. And a lot of people, they don't bake very often. And so maybe 3 or 6 months go by and I have yeast. And they'll pull out their yeast and their yeast won't be alive.
You need some good fresh stuff, huh?
Yeah, so that's one thing to do. And then another big thing is just make sure whenever you're activating your yeast, use instant yeast.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be activated. And so that's a huge thing. A huge thing for just the home chef is just make sure you're handling your yeast right. It doesn't need to be activated.
I guess I don't know what activated means.
So yeast it's a living organism. And so there's dry, active yeast.
Yes.
And so
I've purchased this from the grocery store.
there you go.
Yeah.
And that's the more challenging yeast to use.
Whoops, I didn't know that.
You need to use like 80 to 95 degree water milk, and it basically like wakes up the yeast.
Okay.
If you don't wake up that dry active yeast, it won't work.
Ah.
So instant yeast is, they designed it in a way that it's just ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, you put it in there, it goes.
You are not going light on cinnamon sugar, my friend.
You know-
and I love to see it.
Again, the butter is a huge part of it.
Good quality butter,
Baking it hot.
baking it
Again,
hot.
some of the butter, some of the brown sugar goes to the bottom. The heat causes it to be crispy.
Nice. Well, now I'm thinking about it, like there's so many dry cinnamon rolls out there. So I'm thinking those are the people who have done the lower temperature, longer
you go.
time, that sort of thing. While you're rolling this sucker up, why don't you tell me a little bit about other items that y'all have available at Teal House Bakery?
Absolutely. So we, again, most of our products, they came from childhood things that I loved. Kolaches, driving back and forth from Houston to Austin, popping in some of these great kolache spots. So we developed a kolache. So the Austin Chronicle named it one of the 3 best.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so for years I've loved brisket. So we have a brisket kolache. That's
so it's not
our
all
top
just
sellers.
sweet.
It's not all just sweet.
Okay.
Again, in my home, I had a European neighbor, and one day he brought over croissants to me, and it was like the first time I'd ever tried like a European croissant.
Oh, they're good stuff. All those flaky layers. I'm just showing people at home that gorgeous cinnamon swirl because unfortunately we're going to have to let people go from here. But guys, if you need help, don't worry. They've prepackaged it. They've made it idiot-proof for you. So you can either follow what Lance has taught us today or help yourselves. Thank you so much, Lance,
You're
for your
welcome.
time. Order your cinnamon rolls or anything else they have available. Wow, they have a big array online in time for the holidays. You can head to tealhouse.co right now to learn more.